was a typo, and I'm like, welcome to Two Capes. I'm Jared. I'm here with Robert. What's up, man?
Yo, what up?
And what's up, Cameron? And today we are talking about Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. I have to change that heading, but yeah. So here's the thing about Dark Crisis. So
one, I call this the true end of the Crisis trilogy.
Yeah, exactly. Because it buttons up a lot of the storylines and points that were brought up. The other thing that it did, well, here's the thing. So I think some people, hey, what's up, NJ? Some people had too big of expectations on what this event was going to be because they hear crisis. What's the one word that starts with an R that people assume, Robert?
Reboot.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be fair, though, even Infinite Crisis didn't.
Well, I was about to say, only one crisis resulted in a hard reboot.
And even then, I still say that was a half-hard reboot. Because there was still a lot more carryover there compared to Flashpoint.
Well, oh, yeah, exactly.
That's why I say it was half. There was a lot of hard things that were rebooted, but there was just as much stuff carried over.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the thing. But it's like, so this story started with the gimmick of, okay, the Justice League are dying in Justice League 75.
Now, I want to make this clear. I don't think even DC were really going to convince. Like, they went this probably even knowing no one's going to buy it, but it's more about the story where we need them off. And yeah, this is a case where you needed them off the board.
Well, this is the funniest part because with that, I love where DC came out and said, oh, don't worry, they're coming back. And we're like, yeah, oh, really?
Yep. Now, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. The reason why I call this the true end of the Crisis trilogy, one, it's the 40th anniversary, ish. Oh, close enough to it.
Yeah.
Like it's within 20 years. And much like Infinite Crisis, you have another survivor going evil. Pariah. In fact, it feels like Lady Quark's the only one who never went evil.
It could all, yeah, yeah.
And or is it dead and turned into an AI?
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean by that, I meant Harbinger, by the way.
Yeah. So the idea of the story is
okay. All right. I can explain it.
Yeah,
I can
go
do
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
Basically, now just to make this clear, the Great Darkness is not the villain per se. It has no concept of good or evil, but it has been tainted and influenced by Pariah, who has still been guilty about starting the whole crisis in the first place. So he basically, in all of this stuff, he wants to restart the universe, the multiverse again, but he needs a crisis to happen. But it turns out not any event can become a crisis in universe. So he manipulates Deathstroke to gather up all the villains so they can push things to reach the bare minimum of a crisis so that he can restart the infinite universe.
Yeah, exactly. And
because it hasn't been.
Yeah, exactly. And this was to, again, because at this point, there was only 52 words. After this,
even after Death Metal, you were given the Omniverse, but it wasn't populated.
Yeah, it's like it existed, but there weren't Earths in it.
There weren't that many.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing about this, and the other thing that this was meant to do, is sort of be like a way to essentially highlight characters that don't necessarily get the attention, like John, like Yara, like a lot of the other
Black Adam.
Black Adam was hilarious.
He had a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that is the most blatant, but I'll say it works still.
Although it was kind of blatant when Saint-Pierre drew Black Adam having the Rock eyebrow.
That's true, but what I say is they've been building up to this for ages.
Yeah, 100%.
Even BMB built up to it.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I liked I always liked the idea of Black Adam being a hero. Hey, what's up, Buzz? He's one of the villains.
Because he's a champion. Because he was kept by the Wizard.
Yeah, exactly. So there's good in him. But it's like, so the Justice League died, and I will say there's a reason why I use this as the image for this episode in the background. The image, this is the event that made Saint-Pierre the superstar that he is. Let's face it.
It is. And I will just say this. It's also, like, as an event, Well, let's wait out. Technically, one of the Leaguers did die. Green Arrow.
Oh yeah, he did die, and he didn't come back at the end of it.
Well, he kind of did, but that's what led into his series. But
Yeah,
yeah, he was crushed by Doomsday. But yeah, that's the thing. The Great Darkness. Now, there was a bit of a kerfuffle. Be like, wait, I thought Perpetua was manipulating. Now they're saying the Great Darkness did it. Here's what it was: the Great Darkness indirectly influenced Perpetua. So you could say through Perpetua, the Great Darkness manipulated all of the events, but it wasn't a direct, like it was sentient.
Yeah, Cameron says, like I always say, Black Adam is really DC's Doctor Doom, so he shouldn't be a hero or villain, at least today, and just be a ruler.
I say he's more heroic than Doom ever was.
Oh, yeah. Even in this, did you hear that Marvel announced a new event where Doom is going to go through time trying to influence it so he runs things?
Again, already?
Already, yeah, exactly, man.
Already.
Well, you know why? Marvel wants to push Doom because of the movie, but they don't have any original ideas.
And they wasted it.
Wasted? That's an understatement, brother.
Okay, but we're not here to talk about one world under Doom.
But anyway, yeah, exactly. But anyway, so with Dark Crisis, the other thing I really like, so the other advantage, the other good thing that this series really did was like with John's character, because he had been going like back and forth on a lot of stuff. He wasn't really solidified as a character for a while, honestly, up until this story, as a matter of fact, particularly as an adult.
Exactly.
And
in fact, is it the story that convinced you that he at least he had legs?
I tolerate him. It's not that I like him or anything like that. It's just I tolerate him.
Yeah, but it's to prove to you he has legs.
Yeah, exactly. So because what happens in this is that first off, he tries to build his own Justice League, which
it wasn't a bad team.
Yes, it was. 2 Kryptonians on a team is bad.
I said bad from a storytelling point of view. In universe, you can understand why he picked it.
Yeah, but I just love Black Adam shows up and he goes, "Why is he on the team? Why is he on the team? Why is he on the team? You don't need 2 Kryptonians. Why is Harley Quinn on the team?" And then he has
Dr. Light.
He has a certain question for Dr. Light.
How old are you? As if she's young when she's like, she's a mother of 2, a single mother of 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. Is it because he's really old? He's not going to judge her as being it. And then she technically led a Justice League.
Oh yeah, she definitely did. That's the other thing.
It was one of their worst leagues.
Yeah, but it's like
when she had that horrible yellow outfit.
Oh,
and apparently they were trying to claim that all of her bad attitude was because of artificial sweeteners. I'm not making that up.
What?
That's what they were trying to claim. Apparently that was a theory that went on back then, that artificial sweeteners can make you moody. And they tried to claim that's what made her and Power Girl so much witches.
Okay.
They dropped it.
I sure hope they did.
But yeah, that was their way of trying to justify their bad attitudes.
Yeah, it was so weird. But then you get like...
So I just had to bring that up. But yeah, here's the thing about this event. It closes a lot of plot points that have been dangling since the original Crisis. Especially the whole idea of what has everyone been trying to do with a Crisis ever since? Bring perfection.
Yeah, exactly.
And what did Dr. Light say? Perfection is boring.
Yeah, exactly. And the other parts of that you get with this is like, again, and here's the thing. Calling it the death of the Justice League. They don't actually. As soon as I saw
it was the Barry Allen demise. You knew what was happening. As soon as
I saw that, I was like, they're not dead. As soon as I saw that.
Yep, they were sent to other Earths that he was generating to try and keep them there content.
Which I'm like, I'm not. There's no hate. I'm like, okay, I get it. That was like an interesting way to do it, but okay.
Yep, and but again, why this is the most grounded Crisis though? Because again, they're trying to reach the most bare minimum threshold to get the red skies.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. Too many crises escalate to like a ridiculous level. But
this is they're just trying to build up to it.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to build up to it, but this one really is like the least amount of stuff happens.
Because let's look at that. What was the and when it came to Infinite Crisis, you had a whole bunch. You had the villains united. You had Brother Eye was all the OMAC. You had a space war going on. Yeah, that will make the skies red. What happened in Final Crisis? That was Darkseid falling and basically bring about the end of everything. That would count. Although I still say, Final Crisis is more the Dio claiming it's the end of a trilogy. It never felt like it tied into the other crises.
Yeah, so really, this is the end of the quadrilogy.
If you count Final. Again, look at the fact that even when people call back the Final Crisis, what do they focus on? They focus on Darkseid just being the villain. That's it. They don't focus any specifics
Although it
on
did
it.
have the red skies, though.
But I think that was just done because of the fact a crisis has red skies.
Yeah, but it still counts then.
But I do love, up until it finally reaches that threshold, there's no red skies.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Deathstroke, this has been building up for him as well. He has finally reached the point where he feels like all legacies should end.
Yeah, exactly, because he's been...
Because what happened to Rebound? No, what was it? Rebound? Not Rebound. What was his other son, the clone?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Something.
And if anyone in the chat knows, go ahead and
but yeah, he was like, he felt that once again, another chance of a family, and then he'd get killed off, and that made him snap.
Okay, I see. Yeah. But it's like, the other thing about this that I felt was kind of interesting is when you deal with like, now let's get to the part that that's really important here. Okay, so what's important to bring up is, and the reason why this, I don't want to say it completely redeemed John in my eyes, but it fixed it. Yeah. Oh, he said respawn or something like that.
Respawn, yes.
But what worked for me is, so there's a scene, it's in the final battle or so, when like all the Great Darkness villains are attacking, and John has to hold them off, and then you're constantly here. It keeps flashing back to Superman giving his son like an inspirational speech about what it means to be a hero. That before Doomsday can punch him, the last thing John says is, "I hope I made you proud, Dad." That's when Clark returns from the dead. However, it's like what really makes that work for me is the emotional quality of the storytelling. So that's why when I look at it, I'm like, okay, now I still don't like John as a character. However, I'm no longer as like he should be wiped from continuity.
It made it be he's worthy of existing.
He's worthy of being Superman. And here's the thing that that some people don't really know. This is what solidified John being an adult.
It did.
Because if
he earned it in a place that him as a kid never was going to reach for a long time.
Yeah, because if they hadn't, because here's the thing. If they hadn't used John so well in Dark Crisis, there might have been a chance that they would have de-aged him and like gone away from that. But it's like with this, because this turned everyone, well, by everyone, you know, I'm exaggerating. This turned a bunch of people, like enough people, back on the John train.
Or at least go to, let him exist.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that's where Dark Crisis really like that's one of the legacy of Dark Crisis. The other thing it did is, again, it fixed a lot of the multiversal issues with that I always thought were like big problems with it.
Exactly. Now, this story could not exist without death metal. Let's be clear on that.
Oh yeah, death metal set up a lot of this.
Now, I will say this: I liked how when the Great Darkness is all of the enemies. You even include the Gentry from Multiversity.
Yeah. By the way, was this the one where the Elseworlds was created? Or was that Death Metal?
Death Metal.
Okay, I was wondering about that. I knew it was one of those.
Yeah, Death Metal is where it was created. That was one of the extra Earths originally.
Okay, yeah. And then Scott made it that one.
Yeah, but here, this is where, and then even at the end, this is where you also have Mark Waid start to map out the multiverse again. Something he's done many times.
Oh, yeah, which you should, because I feel like whenever there's like a big change to the multiverse like this, you do need to like do something to like figure out, okay, so what's it look like now? Because it's like the multiverse gets confusing even for comic book fans real fast.
And I love that how the one villain who didn't show up in Dark Crisis was the Antimatter. So he appeared in the Big Bang story.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was, and
yeah.
in that one, I also like how you already had some very new Earths be introduced as part of the multiverse, like DC Mech, or
Mhm.
or night, the DC, the Night one,
Which
Tom
one was that?
Taylor's
Oh, Dark Knight Steel.
Dark Knight of Steel was given an official numbering.
Oh, okay, that's cool. But yeah, but the other thing about this that I think is really important again, it also the other good thing that this storyline did, and this comes from the killing of the Justice League, because one of the because I've said many times that DC should do more with their other characters,
Oh yes.
which they did a lot with them in this storyline. Because when you think about, they narratively made it so they were forced to.
Now that this is the only time when it was the only one issue that tied into as well, where Jace Fox was actually treated, was given something else by having someone else then really write him. We were reminded, oh yeah, he's a genius given how he's part of the Fox family.
And then it's like no one
And that's
used
and
him
really
ever.
never even touched on that.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny part is that they never used him after that.
Not yet. They technically have. He's been a part of the power company,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
so that still counts.
Yeah. But it's like I haven't seen him do anything recently. You notice how they keep him away from Gotham.
Yep, they do. They definitely do. But yeah, but again, oh yeah, and then we have Nightwing being the heart of the universe, which he always has.
Yeah, that's when people started to say, okay, are they going to say that Nightwing is the fourth member of the Trinity?
I wouldn't say he's the fourth member. Let's be honest. He's the one that's been connected to everyone. There's a reason why people do have said, even before Dark Crisis, he is the heart. Because he was the sidekick as Robin. Then he grew up with the Titans, and he has connection with everyone. The League, the Titans, everyone connects back to him. Not even Superman can claim that.
Right. NJ says, is Tiffany Fox from Telltale canon of the comics? I don't think so.
No, there is a Tiffany, yes. Just she's not like how she was in Telltale.
So there is a Tiffany Fox.
There is.
Okay, so she is canon. The character itself is canon.
Yes, just not how she was in that.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, the other thing that at this, and again, I mentioned Semper again because this is like one of the most. This is some of his best work ever.
Yep. Oh yeah, the fight was Nightwing versus Great Darkness empowered Slade.
Or how about when Black Adam shares his power with literally every superhero?
That was the biggest shoehorn.
Yeah, I know. It
wasn't
cool,
needed.
though.
It was done for the movie. It was still cool. But then they've tossed it out the window since they seem to be making him a villain again.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But yeah, Nightwing versus Deathstroke. Yeah, I don't know that was going to happen.
And even the end, they really were making it seem like he was dead.
Yeah, exactly. Which he's not. He was just drained of his serum, right?
Yeah, but then Titans recently brought it back.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. But yeah, Dark Crisis was one of those things where I'm like, and all of this started from the death of the Justice League, which again, I know everyone saw coming was going to get undone real fast. But
we didn't talk about World Without a Justice League one shot.
Oh yeah, those were fun. That was the ones. Those are the worlds where each of the League members went, right?
Yep, and we see one where Clark is in a world written by Tom King, but it was one of his better ones where he actually had a life with John.
I like that one. That one's great. But it's like each of them had one. A few of them did not get their own books. They were just backups in the main
which is
book.
fine.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's like the Trinity had their own books, and I think that's it, if I remember correctly. Or
no, the Trinity did, and there was a few others. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I think Black Canary had one as well.
Maybe. Oh no, Green Arrow did, and then that was the Black Canary with the backup. Just like Green Lantern, which is when Karen Johnson was started on John Stewart, was a backup.
Okay, that makes sense.
That was a main story. That was a main story.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. But yeah, that's the other thing I really like. And then NJ says he was also amazing in the couple of first issues of Wonder Woman, but he gradually lost interest.
We don't know. Well, we can't.
No. You can know that. You know how I know that?
Huh?
Compare his drawing of Wonder Woman back in the day to his drawing it on the cover of the DC Encyclopedia.
True, but what
She
I'm
was
just trying.
extremely emotionless.
I'm saying no. I won't say that for absolute certain unless we hear from the man's mouth.
Okay, fair enough. But
That's all
yeah,
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
but yeah, but it's like with the so I like those because obviously it's like, okay, what are those worlds gonna look like if the League does like all that? If the League is like killed, but sent to like other Earths. So there you go. The other thing that I
Yep,
felt was kind of interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, it's just that I was just about to mention that I always felt it was kind of weird that everyone thought this was going to be a reboot crisis when no
No.
one gave any indicator that was ever going to happen.
And again, Williamson said that time and again, this isn't that type of crisis. And again, the fact it's so grounded proves it.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, exactly. And again, let me put it this way. DC would have given us some indicator that this was going to hard reboot the universe.
All it did was recreate the infinite multiverse.
Yeah,
I also liked how Dr. Light got a power-up, a big one.
Oh, yeah. Now you could
They never did anything with it again.
Exactly. Now you could say it rebooted the multiverse, but it didn't really reboot like the main Earth.
Yeah, and again, that's when Mark Waid was coming back.
Yeah, and didn't he? What book did
he did? The Big Bang story, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then didn't Williamson do the storyline where it's like Justice Incarnate? I thought he did.
Yes, right beforehand. That was everything Frontier was doing up to that.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, because this was the event that showed up after Death Metal. Okay, I remember correctly. But yeah, in terms of
everything was building up to this. Yeah.
Now let me
and this then set up things up for absolute power.
Oh yeah. Now let me ask you this, Robert. Where does Dark Crisis rank among the other three crises? And yeah, I'm not counting Identity Crisis. That's not a crisis.
And I'm not counting Final Crisis. I would say that it's above Final if I have to count Final.
Oh, it's above. It's definitely above Final. 100% above Final.
Oh, that's hard. Because for me, it was always Infinite Crisis. I would say it goes Infinite Crisis, Dark Crisis, but it's close.
With me, it's Infinite Crisis, short of how Jeff wrote Wonder Woman, but that's going without saying. Followed by Infinite Earths, then Dark Crisis, then Final Crisis.
Yes, I would agree with that. Because again, Final Crisis had no connection with the other crises.
It really didn't, and it went in so many different directions. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, and it didn't even really rework the multiverse by the end.
Yeah, that's true. It just
that's what's needed. That's what's needed for a crisis.
Yeah,
the multiverse has to be reworked.
All it did is it just reboot. Is it like undid what Darkseid did to the Earth?
Yeah, that's it. And even then, they introduced all the stuff with the monitors, and then they undid it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said, so that's why I look at Dark Crisis as being, just like Death Metal, it added.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It didn't subtract.
Yeah, exactly. And again, let me put it this way: the other three crises go at the top, no matter all of my issues, because I can understand what's happening.
Yep. Final,
there are when you read the omnibus, it makes a lot more sense
because it includes some of the other books.
Yeah, because once I read the other books, like even the Young Justice and Titan stuff, and then like all the other stuff, I was like, oh, okay, now this makes sense. Even beyond that, I'm like,
oh, gee, what? You know what? We're talking about Dark Crisis. We got to bring up that one.
Oh no,
the worst tie-in.
All right, this is all you, brother, because you read that book.
Just reminding us how Megan Fitzmartin has no idea about lore. She decided to try and retcon how the Young Justice played out, and having things like some of the characterizations were just made no sense, like Sissy, Arrowette. They claim, oh, she gave up because she was tired of being put down by the guy. No, she left because her mother was a stage mom who kept pushing her to be a hero, and then she took a life, and that broke her.
Mm-hmm.
But and you have other things like that, like, oh, Batman is like the 90s Batman would tell Tim, oh, you're just going through a phase.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's up,
Things
Tavia?
like that. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, I know, and it's like just who broke who? Tevia just came in, so Robert, re-explain.
Tavia,
Well,
you already
actually,
know about Dark Crisis, Young Justice. I don't need to say I don't need to say it again.
yeah, that's all we're saying about that. But yeah, yes, Cameron, that was her.
Yeah, that was her because, and again, it was her trying to further double down on her viewpoint about with Tim. And here's the other thing: if you look on TV tropes, there's so many tropes about people trashing that book.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm pretty sure that was the book that made DC be done with her trying to push her. I think they realized, what are you doing?
Yeah,
but unlike Tim Sheridan, they didn't catch it till it was too late.
Yeah, exactly.
And because it was an event tie-in, unlike a Green Lantern mini, which they could delay, they couldn't delay this.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let me ask you this: what's your favorite part from Dark Crisis?
Like, Dr. Light's upgrade.
Of course.
I'm sorry, this was her big moment to shine.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it was when Clark catches Doomsday's fist and goes.
Well, I knew that.
No,
okay. Besides that,
probably when Black Adam critiques John's Justice League.
Okay, I thought you were saying when he shared the powers.
So funny.
Right.
NJ says, Arrow family makes no sense to be honest. And I hate DC push Black Canary. And
she
kind of always was.
She always has been. She's been so tight to them because Ollie is her love interest. They're both each other's love interest. They love each other so much. It's never going to go away.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to say it. And now, I don't like it when they treat her like she can't operate without Ollie. No, she can operate completely on her own.
Hence Birds of Prey.
Exactly. But she and Ollie are one of the best couples. I mean, have you done a Super Wonder on that?
Yes, we have. We have done.
All right.
Of course, we've done Dinah. We've done one on like all of the premier couples of.
All right. So, yeah, those two, for all of their flaws. And believe me, they have flaws.
Yeah.
Especially Ollie.
I don't know about you, Robert, but it got very hot in here. Jay Heat.
Hey, Jay Heat. So your thoughts on Dark Crisis?
Wait, real quick. So Jay Heat, tell us how much you love Dark Crisis Young Justice.
Oh, dude!
Come on. You know you want to. Are you there?
Okay, so I had to step out for a second. But what, the very fact you even asked me that, all that comic is just Megan Fitzmartin wasting DC's diamond dollar throwing a tantrum. I mean, how else you want me to describe?
You're not wrong, so there you go.
And showing just how little she knew about DC lore and just assumed everything.
Like I would say I'm pretty casual for the most part, but god damn, I just felt sorry for Fitzmartin.
You felt sorry for her?
Yeah, because she's just making a fool out of herself with that title.
Okay. But yeah, especially again, when it shows she has no idea about how sissy, Arrowette, any of her history, by claiming she quit Young Justice because she didn't like being held, the boys were getting all the credit. It's like, no, her mother was a stage mom of the worst kind, and she killed someone.
Wait, I thought she contemplated unaliving someone and didn't go through with it.
No, she did. It was an accident, but it haunted her. But no, Megan had to claim it was this because in her mind, that's real empowerment. She left because of the boys? No, that takes away her empowerment. She left because of an overbearing mother.
You do realize this is the same writer who allegedly advocated for Tim and Connor to be shipped together, but editorial shut it down, right?
Yeah. Well, at least it's not. What was the other woman's name?
Oh,
the other, writer, infamous writer.
Tried to make Connor trans. Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Max Visaggio.
Thank you.
Mag. Yeah, at least it wasn't that. Boy, I think I've told it before, but I'm going to say it again. Stephanie, the LCS lady at my, like the daughter of the owners at my store, is trans. And even when I told her, because she had no idea, I brought her like, you know what her reasoning was for it? What? Tell me. Because of the hairstyle and the one earring. What? That's how people were dressed in the 90s. Boys were in the 90s. It had nothing to do with being trans. She went off.
I mean, the biker motif. I mean, that's just the 90s style. Like if you
the closest thing to being queer was the one earring.
But even then, people wore them back then. I watched 90s movies.
I know. I'm just saying that was a case where that was a little iffy.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Tevye, it was Max Visaggio. But anyway, so Jay, all right, your general thoughts on Dark Crisis.
Dark Crisis, I'm not going to fault Williamson at all. This was a wrap-up for 5G, Infinite Frontier, pretty much everything they were doing since Dan DiDio left the company, and then the new relaunch with Dawn of DC, which we ended up getting. So, all in all, Williamson made the best out of a bad situation. I'm not going to say the book was overall bad. It's just not mediocre. Let's just say that. The book was mid.
We liked it.
If you're actually comparing it to like Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, hence the name, they try to hype it up, but compared to Crisis, the book is mid.
Can we agree to this? It's better than Final Crisis.
Final Crisis is a convoluted mess because half the time you can barely understand what Grant Morrison's putting the pen in script.
Well, and here's the other thing. This feels more like an end of a...
Guess what we're talking about next week?
I mean, it's a good.
No, what?
Final Crisis.
Oh, next. Okay.
But
there you go.
But I was going to say, but would you agree with this, Jay Heath? This feels more like the end of a Crisis trilogy than Final Crisis did. I mean, for Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinite Crisis, and this feels more like a conclusion than Final Crisis did.
A mainline trilogy only because they gave Pariah a proper send-off.
It was a pretty lousy one. Yeah.
I never said it was good. I just said it was narratively proper, but I never said it was good.
Right. But fully brought back the multiverse properly to its infinite status.
Yeah, it was supposed to, because here's the thing.
Death Metal set it up.
Yeah, but having a limited number of Earths on it, honestly, I get what they were going for. It really doesn't work because that's still, I know that like you can always fandangle it, but it does kind of make you lose
here's the problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
The problem is when you had Grant Morrison populate 48 of them, technically 49 because one of those was meant to be the milestone Earth. They just couldn't officially say it. So 49, so only 3 of them were left empty.
And you have so many Elseworld stories get commissioned by the dozen.
Yeah, so that was I think that was always the biggest problem having it been limited because you didn't have Morrison claim most of them.
Yeah,
and notice not many people did much with them.
Tevye says, question, I thought Pariah didn't get a good send-off for satisfying because his motivations made no sense.
No, okay. His motive.
Go ahead.
Do I have to say this?
Go ahead.
Might as well.
His motivation made complete sense if you actually followed the character, Tevye.
Yeah.
For those unaffiliated, basically Pariah was the one who if you remember the one who tried to see creation in the JLU episode, it's very similar to Kronos. He was a very ambitious scientist, tried to traverse and explore something he shouldn't have.
Krona.
Thank you. And ended up cursed for his trouble.
Yep, and here's the other thing you got to remember about him. People think Spidey's always guilt tripping him. Pariah is even worse, but he has more of a reason because he's the one who unleashed the Anti-Monitor.
That is true.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
in Infinite, the last Infinite Earth, Infinite Earth, he wiped it all out. So a not near infinite number of Earths, trillions upon trillions of Google, however, too astronomical to count, were lost because of him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he had to live with it. And I don't think Pariah ended up in the Paradise Pocket dimension after Crisis.
No, he did not. He stayed around and then was seemingly killed off by Alexander Luthor, disguised as Lex. And then he got reborn at some point. And then the next time we saw him was here. And then the Great Darkness corrupted him. Well, they corrupted each other.
It was a mutual corrupting. Now, Tevia also asked, wasn't this made under the foundations of 5G?
No.
I'll take over for this one, Robert.
Yeah, go ahead.
To make it a long story short, 5G was essentially supposed to be DC's answer to all new, all different. New Age of Heroes, stunt marketing, chasing headlines, the whole 9 yards. And the fact that DiDio is notoriously, or infamously, depending on your perspective, known for having a distaste for legacy heroes. A potential potential mandate to have Nightwing killed off in Infinite Crisis notwithstanding. They never went through with it because someone actually had the balls to tell him unaliving Nightwing would be a stupid idea.
Again, this wasn't even the first time. He tried doing that in Infinite Crisis. Jeff had to sacrifice Connor to keep him alive.
That was the compromise. But yeah, as for 5G, we do get like a Bleeding Cool article late some of the plot points. It was essentially going to be a downgrade Kingdom Come, culminating in a DC Civil War story.
Which I'm like, okay, but I think Civil War stories have kind of outlived their usefulness personally.
And the worst part, sorry.
I would argue Injustice ran it into the ground, but Robert, you were saying?
Oh, there's many things that Injustice did that should never be repeated.
But the worst part of this was that it was going to be even more editorially driven. Literally, like, this would be the deal telling everyone what to write.
Mm-hmm.
That's what turned everyone against him. They knew this was going to be New 52 worse, because at least there, that was just an edict that he had to enforce. This would have been a case of, you write this story, you write that story. Everyone was like, hell no!
No one was on board. Now, it is alleged. We'll probably never officially know the answer to this. Some rumors say Dan DiDio left on his own accord. Others say he was fired by the powers that be at Warner Media because this was before the Discovery merger. Knowing Dan DiDio's personality and reputation, he was likely pressured to resign and attempt.
Yes.
I would say honestly, yeah, the pressure came because people forget. Remember the backlash that 5G got when it started to leak? This is the one time where everyone on the political spectrum in the fandom, we were all like, no.
Yep. I still remember, of course, one of the ideas was, oh, Superman red and blue. Superman red is the Republican, Superman blue is the Democrat. I'm not kidding. That was a DiDio idea. Bro.
Yeah, I know. There's like yeah, go ahead.
I will say this. Then we end up getting Future State and then Teen Titans Academy. Honestly, I may actually do a Wasted Potential on Teen Titans Academy after I do my first Wasted Potential episode. I might actually do that. But just to use Teen Titans Academy as an example, you had a great anthology. You had a great opportunity, to make it an anthology series. Even if you just wanted to shelve Teen Titans as an IP because you're never going to compete with Marv Wolfman and Perez's run. Even if you wanted to make it DC's X-Men in full anthology, you still could have had a main Titans book. Or at the very least, focus on one storyline at a time and don't just market Red X.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing you could have done. Here's what I would have done. Just make it a freaking Elseworld story. That's it.
Are we talking about 5G or Teen Titans Academy?
5G. Just make it an Elseworld story.
No one would have cared.
That was the other thing is, it was... the worst part was, of course, Okay. As I say, the worst part was so much of what ended up coming about leading up to it still has some effect, mainly Alfred.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Alfred staying dead. Yep, because originally this was going to lead to Bruce cutting a deal with Joker to unalive Bane to get revenge for the death of Alfred, on the condition that Joker retired from being a villain and Skip Town never. Basically, the Gilda Dent from Long Halloween. I'm going by the movie. I haven't read the comic in a long time. Where I'll let you walk. You do this favor for me. I'll let you skip town as long as you agree to retire and never show your face again.
Now they loosely played off of that with the Joker series
and Batman Catwoman in one of the future scenes where Selina ends up offing Joker once Bruce passes away. Which I can understand a grief-stricken Bruce, but to cut a deal with Joker of all people,
exactly. How do you really think the Joker's gonna keep his word?
First of all, say what you will about Joker wanting to break the bat. One, Bane did it first, and two, Bruce would just do it himself.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you trust the Joker?
Like that though, if we took Joker War on its face, which again, that was supposed to be the final story, that would have been he caused Alfred's body to be blown up.
Robert, you're lagging. Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
Hello? Did you hear me?
All right, now you're back.
So how about now?
Yeah.
You're good.
Oh, I think there's a delay.
Okay, go and you can come back in. But anyway, it's like when it comes and by Tevye says, plus knowing that that's my point. You can't trust the Joker. All right, now Robert's back. All right, Robert, continue.
I was saying, remember, Joker War was supposed to be the final story before 5G, and in that one, like Joker blew up Alfred's body.
Mm-hmm.
So again, why would he trust him for that when he kind of blew up as well? So he did just as much damage.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, what the hell, man?
But again, 5G was trying to.
What he wanted.
Now, again, 5G was meant. Can I tell you this? You know, I think with the not 5G, future state. First of all, now that you also like what ended up being generations trying to then say, oh, everyone actually ages from 39 to this point, but they age slowly.
Yeah. By the way, Cameron says, okay, hot take, but I don't think the Titans can parallel X-Men at best. They would do the Jeff Johns thing if running a summer camp instead of a school.
Wait, what Jeff Johns thing?
Basically, we were referencing Teen Titans Academy and how X-Men has become more of an anthology book, especially when they focus on the students rather than the main lineup. It becomes
no. I get that, but what does he mean by comparing it to Jeff Johns when Jeff
Johns did something similar with his run back in 2003. I know what he's talking about.
He did. Wait, he did. It was just a traditional Titans run.
No, he did.
He incorporated Young Justice and had them as mentees for the
Titans. Okay, you're right. You are right. Yeah. I forgot. It's been a while since I've gone back over it. I own every issue. All 100 issues.
So definitely good run. It does have interchangeable writers and it does fall off at certain points, but overall it's a good run.
By the way, Jay Heat, I've been driving Jared not saying this, but I gotta say again, this is also one of the stories that really highlighted Dr. Light.
Yeah,
Dark Crisis.
A lot of show synergy was a fault for that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Dr. Light appeared in the Teen Titans 03 cartoon. Don't you remember?
No, I meant the female one. Showing up in Dark Crisis.
Okay. This is Robert right now.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
She's my favorite female heroine in Jay Heat.
True.
And again, this is what kind of gave her a lot. They even tried to boost her power. They haven't done much with it since.
And hopefully she gets another appearance soon. But Tevye says Titans Academy was doomed to fail because it was made at the foundation of Sam. Okay.
Yeah.
And it didn't work because it tried to incorporate Adam Glass failed Teen Titans. Yeah, that's true.
To an extent, because you got Endless Winter and then Titans Academy. But at the end of the day, Titans Academy was just bloated. It was trying to do a Titan story, an Adam Glass follow-up, and canonize Red X all at the same time. And that's not even factoring future state stuff.
And he was clashing with the Bat Office.
And it's just...
Especially when it came to Corey. That was the point where the Bat Office truly put their foot down saying, Dick and Corey are done.
All right, I need to add. Yes, well, here's the thing, because the Bat Office doesn't like when the Bat family characters date superpowered people. Also, why Wonder Bat will never be a thing. So that's why I support this.
Where did that come from?
No, it's why they broke up Starfire and Nightwing.
Oh no, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I was looking at what NJ had said. That got me blabbered.
In a second.
Right.
But yeah, so that's why, because they feel like if the Bat family character is dating a superpowered person, particularly like Wonder Woman or Starfire, the superpowered person could just resolve all the crimes there. It kind of undermines it. So I get that.
Right.
The question I haven't read the Adam Glass run. Is it really that bad?
If you factor editorial and the setup for 5G, then yes. If you are a Damian Wayne stan, then yes, because it's a Fall from Grace story, and Damian goes out of character at a certain point. But overall, especially if you're an experienced comic fan like the three of us, or me and Robert, because we're pre-52, it's not. It's a shelf title gone bad. I probably will do a dedicated episode if I ever bring that show back on the channel. But for all intents and purposes, that portion of the book, once Adam Glass takes over, issue 20 onward, it's a shelf title gone bad.
I just like Crush.
No, Crush is the saving grace of that story. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Crush more than Roundabout and Jen.
Roundhouse is pretty much a
Roundhouse.
Roundhouse is basically a Timu Captain Adam with victim mentality.
I felt like it was like Glass trying to do a redo on what's his name from the New 52 Titans.
Bunker.
Felt like he was trying to be like the new Bunker.
I like
Bunker. That's the
I know. I think that's why I think Glass was
about that at best meh Teen Titans run.
No, I'm saying I think that's what Glass's attempt at making a new Bunker is what I said, and failed.
Oh, that's an understatement.
And not so much his origin. Oh, he blames Robin for the spoilers for a 7-year-old comic, but that he blames Robin for the unaliving of his sister in his origin story. When you take it into context, one, this is Gotham of all people. Two, you're cutting through an alleyway and through not crime alley, cutting around Ace Chemicals of all places. And three, you are literally cutting this way at night, trying to rush home so you can do whatever rather than doing your homework. By that logic, you endangered your sister in the situation. Yes, Damian should have done an extra perimeter check instead of trying to bust Scarecrow and his goons by himself. He should have done a perimeter check, or at the very least waited for backup from one of the other members of the Bat family. I'm not refuting Damian's fault, but you don't get to cry victim because Billy himself made a stupid decision.
Right. Now, can we agree the reason why Crush works so well is because she's so much like her father and yet antithesis to her father.
True. Yeah. But so now let's get to NJ's question. Is Dr. Light dating Ray Palmer? Correct?
Where the heck did that come from?
Yeah,
if that's a deep cut, I'm oblivious.
No, I've kept an eye. You know, the only time other person she ever dated or was married to was the male version that was the hero when he was heroic.
Okay.
In New 52.
That's so she went through quite the identity crisis, huh?
Jared, if you actually knew the context of that joke, you wouldn't be saying
No, I do. Trust me. Tavia says, what about Jin? Was she made to be the new Skitter?
No.
No. I would argue female Deathstroke, but that's a separate conversation.
No. I think Jin was created for story reason. I do think Roundhouse was meant to be, maybe not intentionally to be the next Bunker, but in that same venue.
Comedically.
Yeah, of the three creations, Crush was the only one that actually stood out to the point where she almost got her own show.
That makes sense. And I will say this about Jen, because first of all, you can't. What's the best way I could say this? In the event, basically, let me just set the scene here. I want to say it was either issue 23 or the first annual. Robert is welcome to correct me. But it's revealed that Jason was sponsoring Robin and the Adam Glass runs the team for that run. They had a falling out. Jamie, which was canonically around the same time as the Sanctuary Massacre from Heroes in Crisis. A fight broke out. Jason beat the crap out of Damian, but Damian was able to make it back to Mercy Hall despite having mild internal bleeding. I would assume from a bruise. From the fight. Jin ends up not only healing him and doing an expedition dump connecting to her origin, but let's just say the scene is very romanticized, and it's implied that she dragged him through 2 separate healing sessions over the course of a weekend.
And by the way, NJ says it was in the Christmas special one shot, actually. Not dating, but they flirted. And since then, it wasn't mentioned again.
Wait, what Christmas? Which Christmas?
That's Dr. Light Ray Palmer. Thank you for confirming that, NJ.
I know, but which Christmas special? There's been so many.
NJ, elaborate, please.
Yeah, if you're confusing me.
Robert's like one of the only Dr. Light fans there is. I'm only kidding, Robert.
And the reason
hey, I've said it before. I'm actually the reason behind her resurgence in the 2000s. No, I'm not kidding. Jay Heath, did I ever tell you this one?
Go ahead.
No, you did not.
Go ahead.
Okay. Attica, after what happened in Infinite Crisis, where she was just completely, like bouncing around there, trying to figure out, like she got depowered, nothing happened, all that. I then asked at a panel at with Chicago before it became C2E2, and asked Andy Dio, what's going on with Dr. Light? Justice League, wait and see. Not long afterwards, I emailed Dwayne McDuffie asking about it. He said, I have no plan, so I thought, the deal lied to me. She ended up becoming more, and then later on, after McDuffie was off the title, but he can't, and this is a year before he died, I met him at a convention. He told me, and when I brought up, like, you emailed me, he's like, well, yeah, after I essentially emailed, the deal then told me to put her in. And then through that, her appearing there, she would stick around through the James Robinson run, who is a Dr. Light fan, and she would be utilized even more in the Superman books. So, because of me bringing up the Dio, and the Dio said, okay, I'm going to actually fall through on that, she ended up getting much more prominence for a while. Up until Flashpoint.
NJ says the 2026. You mean the 2025 leading into 2026 because of the Christmas special?
Yeah, so this was last year. Okay.
Wait, let me look this up.
While Robert's waiting on that, and for those who, again, I'm trying to be Jared is a very PG channel, so I'm trying to keep this as age appropriate as possible. But the reason I have such a nitpick with Jin in that run is because Jin was betrayed and bound to the totem of a ring by her brother, Elias, around the era of the Pharaoh, which is 2000 BC. And Jin, through flashbacks and her backstory, even if she was bound to the totem of said ring, and lacked agency, she was coherent through a majority of atrocities across human history. So this is a 4,000-year-old teenager. They even say this in one of the covers.
Oh no, it's the old as dirt argument that Jared brings up about why he doesn't want Wonder Woman to be old as dirt, right?
Yeah.
That and Jen being pining or being shipped with a 13-year-old Damian Wayne.
Yep, it's the old as dirt thing.
Exactly. And I'm like, nope, that is stupid.
Now, if you want to tell a Fall from Grace story, that's fine. That could actually lead to decent character development. But, okay, at least, say what you will about Judas Contract, but at least a lot of that story was just an allegory for quid pro quo or transactional relationships. At least that aspect had a freaking point. Jen and Damien is just cringe in context. Am I wrong?
Okay, by the way, I found it. I'm looking at it. Okay, there is a little bit of that, of them flirting, but that's as far as it's gotten. And yes, she has been helping out with the Atom Project.
Okay, so she got some mentions in here and there, but basically that's my one.
So okay, so it's NJ. I think it's cute. It's not going anywhere because that's an anthology.
Yeah, and anthologies hardly ever get followed up on.
But you were saying, go ahead. Sorry.
But no, thank you for clearing that up, Robert. But basically, that's the one aspect that I could say that's objectively bad about the Adam Glass run. You could still have Jin establish and be created for plot reasons, but the fact that she was even paired with anyone, or even the whole love triangle that they tried to do with Damien and Crush, I'm just like, first of all, this character's old as dirt chronologically. Second, these are teenagers with no den mother, no mentor, no sponsor, no field leader, just a ragtag group of kids in a mystical conspiracy completely in over their heads. This is not a good look.
Agreed.
Exactly.
And that's the one nitpick I would have. Now, if I'll probably do a shelf title gone bad on the Adam Glass run eventually, or even a full retrospective.
Count me in.
Comparing the Percy and the Glass runs.
Oh, yeah, it's Percy.
All right, I got Robert collabing on that Percy versus Glass run video, but you heard it here first. But yeah, that's if there was one if there's one folly or bad aspect of that run, it's the toxic interplay between Damien and Jin. I could kind of see where they were coming from. You know, the Camus success and the chemistry that Damian Wayne and Raven's actors had in those animated movies. They wanted to reincorporate that without de-aging Raven again. One, Jin is just an amalgamation of Starfire and Raven with a different backstory. And two, it's just I'm sorry. I'm trying to be serious about this. They effectively turned Damien to a dark, edgier version of Grayson. Like if I wanted like a dark mirror to Grayson, that's what they were trying to turn Damien into during that run. And I just now remembered that.
Oh boy, that was fun. But yeah, apologies
can I say
for
one
my
other
camera
thing?
freezing.
Sorry. Can I say one other thing about the Dr. Light sources? I just flipped through it. There's one thing about it that ticks me off.
Oh boy,
What
here we
was
go.
There's a point where she says all she's been trying to do was to prove to her father that she wasn't someone's sister. No! She revered her father! She basically did everything she could because of her father's influence. She wasn't doing anything to try and make him actually give her some kudos. No, she already had it. Her father was always her inspiration.
No, we do not have a banner like that, Jay But yeah,
I'm sorry. That really got to me. I'm sorry. It's one line, but it's the fact that it says like, all to convince my father I wasn't just someone's sister. It's like, really? And now, Grant, the whole point of this is to try to say that Guy Gardner gets under her skin. All right, but you didn't have to bring her father up like that when it's been well established. Again, I'm sorry.
Name one time Gardner hasn't hit below the belt in character.
Oh, no, I get that. But nowhere else in the story is her father brought up except for that one bit.
Yeah, I'll admit it's low-hanging fruit, but it is in character for Gardner to pull that kind of crap.
No. Gardner did not bring up her father. She brings it up on her own, just to say why she's always trying to prove herself.
Okay, then that does. To be fair, I haven't read the anthology. I read briefly the Adam Project miniseries, but I did not read the December 2025.
I did not read it either until I looked through that. Again, the rest of the story looks good, especially her having an issue with Guy. Who doesn't?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is the guy who no pun intended. This is the guy who got knocked out by Batman in one punch.
What a guy!
One punch.
What a guy! Tevius asked, "Forgive my confusion, but who wrote this special?"
Oh, this was anthology, and it was this again. Remember, the anthology they use as test beds.
I didn't know if you were saving this for UTC, but I wanted to bring it up now.
We are on UTC.
I mean, CLD, excuse me, but I'll bring this up now. Have y'all read Batman 25 issue number 6 yet?
Yeah.
As a Tim Drake fan, I should be pissed, but at the same time, I can see what
yeah.
We'll talk about
what?
CLD
Okay,
for sure.
okay.
A brief rant, Robert.
Okay,
Yeah,
I want to talk
go ahead.
to you after we're done. After the stream, can we talk about the J.E.?
Okay, that's fair.
All right, but on that, I think this is a good place to leave it.
I want to save my rant for tomorrow.
Yeah, all right. But I think it's a good place to leave it because we've gone for a while, but my internet's starting to get a little so I'm just going to end it now. But how do you guys rate Dark Crisis out of 10?
Are we counting Young Justice tie-in?
Everything together, one full
No.
story.
4 out of 10. 4 out of 10.
Everything, including the... without Young Justice.
Brings it down.
Without Young Justice.
Without Young Justice, it's a solid 6.
I'll give it that.
Thank you.
How about you, Robert?
I give it an 8.
It's not.
I give it an 8, and this is
not. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I would say, a low 8, like an 8.0.
Oh, okay.
That's just an 8.
Are you including the Young
Yeah,
Justice?
solid 8. Okay, here's the thing. I am, but it's also counteracted by the World Without the Justice League one-shot and some of the other tie-in issues. But the other one-shots, including the Big Bang one-shot and the Green Earth one shot.
I'll admit, one bad tie-in does not ruin an entire event most of the time, but you got to admit.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying all those other.
Bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I'm saying all those other one shots and tie-ins counter it.
That's okay. That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. And Jay is asking about boss battle. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
CLD. Save all that.
That is
CLD.
such a CLD thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so as far as Comics League is coming out, we're talking about Conan the Destroyer this week. Britt and I are going to be talking about Superman's relationship with Lana and Lori Lemaris, the mermaid. And for Amazon Answers, I am talking about the DC characters that I want Wonder Woman to cross over more with. And yeah, so Robert, how about you, my man?
Got a link down below, and I'm building up to lesson 666.
All right, Jay Heat.
As for me, I recently collabed with Robert on Pro versus Noob, where we covered another crossover title.
It hasn't premiered yet.
Okay, it hasn't premiered yet. Okay, that'll soon come out to the channel. Also, stay tuned for the premiere of Wasted Potential. I will not for Wasted Potential. I want to get that dropped by this time next week. And
yeah,
and that's all I got.
All right. Stay work, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zahn. And Steve Trevor's a sack of potatoes that should be mashed thoroughly. See you guys later. Bye-bye.